welcome to 1,000 Mile Coffee. How's everybody doing today? You riding with Jason?
And David.
We got Mr. Matt Daniels, a.k.a. Fluffy, on the phone with us again today.
Y'all doing all right this morning?
We're doing pretty good.
we're awake. We're awake. We're standing up erect. I mean,
I've been going since 2 o'clock this morning. I'm getting tired already.
How dare you left out at 0200?
0200.
I'll be darned.
Hey man, I got a miles to turn. We got to go.
There you go. Again, the hustle side's coming out of you. Yeah,
I know that money maker. I know.
Right. Now, listen, we talked about last time, and we've talked on the phone since then because we talk to this guy quite often. And
who are y'all again?
Let's see. I'm David.
I'm Jason.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm Fluffy. Hi.
All right. We wanted to talk about your accident. I mean, it was really bad. And you said you was comfortable with it.
Yeah, I'm very comfortable with it.
So I'm not going to interrupt you here. I'm going to just let you tell the story of what happened.
Start from the very beginning?
Start from the beginning, my friend.
All right. The night before, I had picked up a load in Hayward, California, out there by Long Beach at the ports. It was going to Minnesota, over by the cities. It was a weekend run. I had a little bit of a faster truck. I was out west. Speed limits are higher out there, so I could run a little bit faster than what I could further east I moved. And I was making pretty good time. I got out of California early in the morning and made it over to Nevada and stopped, did a couple load checks, did what I had to do, and decided to take a shortcut instead of cutting across I-80 and going north. I went ahead, decided to take US 93 through Wells and up through Jackpot, Nevada, and go up and then cut across I-90 straight into Minneapolis area. And got about 16 miles north of Wells, Nevada, and there had been a bunch of CB chatter about a vehicle that was driving erratically. People were trying to follow her. Well, we didn't know it was a her at the time, but I'm just going to say that people have been following her for a while just to make sure that nobody got hurt, killed, that kind of thing. And she had already run several trucks off the road. When I say off the road, like into the ditch, she had run several cars off the road. They didn't know what was going on, but they had followed her from Idaho, where she was supposed to have been working, all the way to north central Nevada, and watched all this go down. And US 93 north of Wells is a 2-lane road. I was on the northbound side, and there was just enough room in front of me from the truck. Now, I try to keep safe following distance, and for some reason, some told me to back off. Well, I did. There was about 5 or 6 truck lengths between it. She saw that opportunity to get around the vehicles that were in front of her because she was headed southbound. That caused her to duck into my lane. Last thing she saw was the grill of that big flat top Peterbilt I was driving, and that was that. She sent me on a barrel roll. She drove up underneath. We basically hit left corner to left corner on the vehicles. She sent me into a barrel roll. It twisted the frame of my truck that the fifth wheel split. And the trailer kept going straight, and the truck barrel rolled 3.5 times and landed on its roof out in the middle of the desert. My truck run over her vehicle. Now, this was a privately owned vehicle, but she was contracted through the state, and it was a spray vehicle. She had a 1,000-gallon tank on the back that was filled with pesticides. She was supposed to be spraying the stuff on the side of the road, spraying for bugs, whatever, in Idaho Falls, Idaho. This was in Wells, Nevada, over 300 miles from where she was supposed to be. And I'll get to the reason why in just a minute. But anyway, she basically drove up underneath the truck, and I've got a 2-inch thick police report that outlines 18 different times in there that people witnessed a fireball come out from underneath my truck. I'm lucky. Not only did I survive, but I had just filled my truck up in Fernley, Nevada, out there, and I was full of fuel. And she drove up underneath, and they saw the fireball come out from underneath my truck and trailer, and I turned that 3/4-ton pickup truck into a taco on wheels. It was just a big divoted vehicle. You couldn't see couldn't make out what kind of vehicle it was unless you zoomed way in. And come to find out that she was on illegal drugs, very, very high on illegal drugs, and don't think she knew what planet she was on.
I was like, she probably didn't even know where she was.
No, but she was about 300 miles from where she was supposed to be, and her company didn't seem too concerned about it because they obviously didn't check to see where she was or anything. Not that she could have really answered the phone or anything anyway, based on her condition, but during the investigation, they checked out a lot of vehicles have a lockout feature on the speedometers. Mine was locked at 67. Now, that's 75 miles an hour through there, even for a two-lane road, but it's Nevada. It's out west, wide open spaces.
Wide open and very straight.
Right. 75-mile-an-hour speed limit. My speedometer locked at 67. Hers locked at 98. So my body and my truck took 165 miles an hour worth of force, and it tore up pretty bad. But year and a half later, I got back in the truck, and here I am.
We're gonna post right here behind us. We're gonna post before pictures of what his truck looked like and pictures from the accident that he has given us to put on there.
Now, these pictures are very graphic, so if you do not wish to see them,
I wouldn't say they're real.
Picture is.
Okay,
so the pictures are fairly graphic, dude. I saw them.
Well, see, I just saw pictures of the truck. I saw one or two. I haven't seen a whole lot of them. I remember when all this happened, your brother Alan called me and said, I answered the phone. Said, "Hey man, what's up? Fluffy was in an accident. Got to go by," and hung the phone up. Fluffy was in an accident. What the hell are you talking about? So I started calling people trying to get information. Luckily, we're all on a group in Life 360 together, and that's when I looked and saw that it was Life 360 was showing you over a open field somewhere doing 152 mile an hour. I said, "Oh shit, he was life lighted out."
Going in a straight line. Yeah, I was life lighted out.
Yeah, they picked you up in a helicopter and took you to the hospital.
They life lighted me to Salt Lake City because the closest hospital was Las Vegas. But Vegas did not have the proper trauma unit to be able to handle the injuries that I had. They sent me to Salt Lake City because my injuries, oddly enough, were consistent with downhill skiers. When they lose control and start tumbling and hitting trees and all that other stuff, that's what my injuries were. And Salt Lake City being the site of one of the Olympic Games, that's where they sent me because the doctor that actually did the surgery on me was the lead surgeon for the U.S. Olympic team when it was in Salt Lake City. So I was in very good hands. Right. He knew what he was doing.
Now, what injuries did you suffer?
My left leg took the brunt of everything. Now, I had glass shatter. I've got a huge gash in my left arm where the driver's side window basically exploded. Luckily, it didn't cut my face or any of that. Or I had sunglasses on, and they said that's what saved my eyes. But I had glass go into my arm. It cut me off. In fact, I'm still picking glass out. Every now and again, a little shard of glass will work its way to the surface, and that scar will start itching. And as soon as I start scratching on it, I'll have this little shiny sliver come up, and it'll happen at home. And my wife will look at me and go, "You got more glass out, didn't you?" I said, "Yeah, I sure did." And but my left leg took the brunt of it. I've got a steel rod running from my hip to my knee on the outside, and I've got Lord, trying to remember how many screws and everything I've got in my knee and my ankle. I know I've got 17 screws in my knee. My ankle, I think there's 21 screws in my ankle at all different angles just to keep everything together. My foot or my leg was in I called it my erector set. It's one of the braces that's actually drilled into the bone to keep the leg stable and still. But I was in one of those for a month and a half.
Your erector set?
That's the best way to describe it. That's what it was.
Yeah,
I was luckily enough when I was doing the Salt Lake runs, I was able to get out there and go see him in the hospital.
Yeah, I tried to get out there, and my company wouldn't ever get me a load out that way to go visit him because you was in the hospital for 6 months, wasn't you?
No, well, yeah, I was in the hospital. I was physically I was in intensive care for 2 weeks. And then they moved me to a regular room for another 2 weeks, and then I was at a recovery hospital and a recovery and physical therapy hospital for another 4 weeks after that. So 2 months out there, you know, talking to everybody on the phone. Luckily, my wife dropped everything in North Carolina, and she jumped on a plane and she flew out there as soon as she found out what was going on.
If I'm not mistaken, she wasn't your wife at the time. You were just talking back and forth.
Not at the time. Right.
I think it was.
Right.
I think that's when
we were dating at the time. Yeah.
And Jason's over here snickering because this is the conversation with the guys where, oh, he's not going to marry her. He's not going to marry her. Like, no, he's going to come back married.
Yeah.
Any woman who's willing to drop everything, take off, and run out there.
You know what? No, I'm not even going to say that. Any woman who's willing to wipe your own ass when you can't. I'm just going to say it. But my wife had to do it with me when I ruptured that disc in my back. I mean, you know, those are the women who truly. That's true love, but I don't know how else to say it.
It's a rare breed, but thank God we found them. You know.
Yeah, he can, and I can remember talking with you about Carissa, and the man, she's just so clingy, and she wants to see me all the time, and I'm not used to this. I'm like, but get used to it. It's a good thing. I mean, so what? It comes out good. You know, you never said anything. It was something you wasn't used to. That's why I told you. Right, and everybody's like, oh, he ain't used to being clinged on to, and I don't think they're gonna last. I'm like, there's a wedding ring in the future. You just wait and see. And
I actually proposed to her on the way back home.
Right, everybody was over there going, no, I don't think it's gonna happen. It may eventually, but no, y'all just wait and see.
October 14th, 2017, in room 114 at the Holiday Inn in Shelbyville, Kentucky.
How romantic!
On the way back home. No, I know. Well, I couldn't get down on one knee. I only had one good one.
You know what? How romantic, but yet, you know, my wife. We were laying in the bed watching American Idol. Or she was laying in the bed. I was sitting on the side of the bed watching American Idol, and I was trying to be all romantic and thoughtful, and I was trying to talk about. She's Everything to Me by Brad Paisley and how that song translated to me with her. And she's over here making fun of me because she didn't know what I was doing. And I'm just like, really? Here I am trying to be, you know, all soft hearted and she's just cracking jokes. Yeah. So yeah, I proposed to my wife lay in our bedroom, in her bedroom of her apartment at the time. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you know what? It don't matter where you do it at. It's the fact that you did it.
Yeah, but I did it in the Holiday Inn, man. I didn't, you know.
I can't say much.
We're a romantic breed.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I can't say much. I think it was my mother and father. My mother was a college chemistry professor. My dad was one of her students in one of the classes. My dad just walked in, dropped down. It wasn't even during his class. He walked in during the class, and pretty much he was failing miserably. Walked in, dropped down on his knees, pulled out a ring, and said, "I'll marry you." Or something along those lines.
If you pass me, I'll marry you. No, that's not. Your dad told me the story, and yeah, that's what he did. It wasn't because he was failing the class. He just realized he loved her.
Boy,
he was purposely getting stuff wrong so he could spend more time with her.
Right. All right, but we're gonna stop right here, and we're gonna do a part 2 with you later on this week.
All right.
Because, like I said, we got a little work we got to go do, but we're going to be right back, and we're going to finish talking about this conversation.
As always, everybody, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for here we go again.
Turning in. Wow.
Untie that tongue.
How about this? I'll do it, okay? I'll do it. We want to thank everybody for watching. We really do appreciate it. He got to walk away. We really do appreciate it. And as always, keep your greasy side down.